Hi students, all of you good evening. Welcome to the class. So in this class, we are going to discuss the remaining part of the complex compounds. And in your material, you are having one worked out example. On the screen, you are seeing worked out example. Once read that question. All of you once read that question, worked out example 1. Yes, on the screen you are seeing when excess of silver nitrate solution is added to aqueous solution containing 0.1 molar COCl3.xNH3 if 43.05 grams of silver chloride precipitated, then X value is. All of you please once read slowly, try to understand the question. When excess of silver nitrate solution is added to silver nitrate solution, what is the formula of silver nitrate solution? Open your mic and respond. What is the formula?
AgNO3.
Yes, silver nitrate solution formula is AgNO3. Here you can see AgNO3 is going to react. How much AgNO3 is taken? How much AgNO3 is taken?
Excess.
Yes, excess. We don't know how much AgNO3 is taken. Just excess of AgNO3 is taken. That is going to react with 0.1 molar COCl3.xNH3. Here I am writing COCl3.xNH3. How many moles? That is 0.1 moles. Here I am writing 0.1 moles of COCl3.xNH3 is going to react with excess of AgNO3. Yes, all of us know here Ag plus ions reacts with Cl minus ions. Then what is going to be precipitated? AgCl is going to be precipitated. Okay. How much AgCl is precipitated? How much AgCl is precipitated? 43.05 grams of, once again, 43.05 grams of AgCl is precipitated. So all it is given in the question. So first I am taking this one. 0.1 moles of COCl3.xNH3 is given. That is going to react with excess of AgNO3. Then that is going to give 43.05 grams of AgCl. All it is given in the question itself. So from this data, I know the weight of AgCl. This is the weight of AgCl. 43.05 grams of AgCl is given. This is known as weight of AgCl or mass of AgCl. Weight of AgCl or mass of AgCl. So with the help of mass of AgCl, I can calculate number of moles. See this one, small n. What is small n indicates? Number of moles. Number of moles of AgCl is equal to, can you say the formula of number of moles? What is the
Weight
formula?
by gram molar weight.
Weight. Right, very good. Weight by gram molecular weight. Yes, all of you know. So here I am taking the number of moles. Number of moles is equal to, or number of moles of AgCl is equal to weight of AgCl precipitated. That is already given. That is 43.05 grams by gram molecular weight of AgCl. How can we calculate the gram molecular weight? To calculate the gram molecular weight of AgCl, first we have to know the atomic weight of silver. What is the atomic weight of silver?
108.
Good, very good. 108. And the chlorine atomic weight is
35.5.
35.5. All of you know. So by adding these two, we'll get gram molecular weight of AgCl. Here you can see the gram molecular weight of AgCl is 143.5. So from this data, what I am going to calculate? What I am going to calculate? Number of moles of AgCl precipitated. What is given in the question? What is given in the question? Weight of AgCl precipitated is given in the question. From that data, I am going to calculate number of moles of AgCl precipitated. Yes, how many moles of AgCl is precipitated? 0.3 moles of AgCl is precipitated. For how many moles? For how many moles? For
1 mole.
0.1 molar. See this one. See this one. For 0.1 molar COCl3.xNH3 here. For 0.1 moles of COCl3.xNH3, how many moles of AgCl is precipitated? 0.3 moles of AgCl is precipitated. Try to understand the last line. For 0.1 moles of COCl3.xNH3, 0.3 moles of AgCl is precipitated. For 0.1 moles, 0.3 moles is precipitated. Then for 1 mole of COCl3.xNH3,
3 mole.
very good, very good. Correct, correct. In the next page, you are going to see the next page. So for 0.1 moles of COCl3.XNH3, when we are going to get 0.3 moles of AgCl, then we can say that for 1 mole of COCl3.XNH3, there is a precipitation of 3 moles of AgCl. Yes, all of you know AgCl, how to write? Ag plus ions and Cl minus ions. How many moles of AgCl? That is 3 moles of AgCl. For how many moles of? For 1 mole of COCl3.XNH3, there is a precipitation of 3 moles of AgCl. That 3 moles of AgCl contains 3 moles of Cl minus ions. Yes, from this data, you have to explain to me what you can understand from this data. When 3 moles of AgCl is going to be precipitated, what is the oxidation state of cobalt? Or what is the primary valency of this complex? What is the complex given here? What is the complex given here? COCl3 dot XNH3 is the complex given. And from this data, we are going to know that 3 moles of chloride ions are precipitated. So to precipitate the 3 moles of chloride ions, the 3 chloride ions should act as primary valency. So when the primary valency is 3 minus, cobalt is present in which oxidation state?
+3.
Plus 3 oxidation state. Yes, whenever, wherever, in whichever the compound, if cobalt is present in +3 oxidation state, always cobalt is going to have coordination number 6. The coordination number of cobalt in +3 oxidation state is always fixed. That value is 6. You will get it out. You will get it out. Sir, how can you say coordination number is fixed? Can anybody give the reason for this one? When cobalt is present in +3 oxidation state, how can we say cobalt secondary valency or coordination number is going to be 6? Yes, according to Werner's theory of complex compounds. Yesterday we studied the theory, Werner's theory, Alfred Werner. According to Alfred Werner's theory, the structure of any complex compound, depends upon 2 types of valencies exhibited by the transition metal. Once again, the structure of any complex depends upon 2 valencies exhibited by the transition metal. That is primary valency and secondary valency. And secondary valency is nothing but, what is secondary valency? Coordination number. So from this one, by saying this one, cobalt is having secondary valency, how much? 6. Can you write the formula of the complex? For this complex, can you write the formula? Here, what you understood? What you understood is X value is going to be
6.
Yes, X value is going to be 6. Then what will be its formula, exact formula? In the form of complex compound. Square bracket of CO NH3 taken
6 times.
very good 6 times Cl3.
Cl3.
So like that, by calculating the primary valency, then only we can know about the secondary valency. By knowing the secondary valency, nothing but coordination number, we can say about the geometry of the complex compounds. So the geometry or the structure or the geometry of the complex compounds are explained by the theory, Werner's theory of complex compounds. Werner is saying that the transition metal is going to have 2 types of valencies, primary valency and secondary valency, but secondary valency is only responsible, once again, the secondary valency is only responsible for structure of a complex. In the next page, you are going to see. Wait a minute. Yes. On the screen, you are going to see. It is the left side the table. The left side table you are seeing from second year syllabus. The right side table, whatever you are seeing from first year syllabus. Can you say what is the table? What is this table? From which theory we are taking this table? Very good. So this is the table already you observed in VSEPR theory, valency shell electron pair repulsion theory. This is from first year syllabus, whereas this is from second year syllabus. I'm going to compare these two. Yes, say this heading, coordination number. Can anybody define what is meant by coordination number?
Number of atoms surrounded by
The number of
ligands.
very good. The number of ligands that are surrounding the central metal atom in a complex compound is known as its coordination number. Once again, the number of sites that are occupied by the ligands around the central metal atom in a complex compound is known as coordination number. If the coordination number is 2, what is the shape of the complex? Linear. All of you know linear. See this one. See this structure. This is a linear. Yes, wait a minute. All of you, please observe me. Just by using your 2 fingers, touching on the screen, mobile screen, just enlarge. Try to enlarge, ma. Once try to enlarge your screen. Is it possible to enlarge the screen?
Sir.
Yes. Wherever you want to see the data, by using your 2 fingers, by touching on the screen, you can enlarge, you can decrease the size. That is the advantage of sharing the screen. Yes, thank you. Yes, say this one. If the coordination number Cn, coordination number is nothing but simply Cn. It is not cyanide. It is a shortcut for coordination number. Coordination number is nothing but, what is that term?
Secondary valency.
Yes, secondary valency. If the coordination number or the secondary valency of the central metal atom in a complex is 2, then the shape of the complex is going to be linear, just like this one. Just like this one, linear. Okay, right. Coming to the second one. If the coordination number is 3, then shape of the molecule is going to be trigonal planar. See this one, this is a trigonal planar. Next, if the coordination number is 4, there are 2 possibilities are there. Yes, if you say this one, Vesper theory table, if the number of electron pairs, not the lone pairs, number of electron pairs are 4 at the central atom. This is the central atom A. Bond pair, bond pair, bond pair, bond pair. If the central atom is having 4 bond pairs only, the shape of the molecule is going to be tetrahedral, according to the theory, VSEPR theory. But according to Werner's theory of complex compounds, if the coordination number is going to be 4 or secondary valency is going to be 4, there are 2 possibilities. The geometry of the complex may be tetrahedral or the geometry of the complex may be square planar. Yes, how can we understand this one? Tetrahedral or square planar, how we have to understand? Yes, I'm going to take one more page. Okay. Yes, on the screen you can see now, if the coordination number is, if coordination number Cn, if the coordination number is going to be 4, there are 2 types of possibilities are there. The geometry of the complex may be tetrahedral or the geometry of the complex may be square planar. From the first year, the chapter name is chemical bonding. All of you know the hybridization. Can you say the example for sp3 hybridization? Can you say the
CH4.
Very good. CH4. The structure is C single bond H, single bond H, single bond H, single bond H. This is the shape or geometry that is called as tetrahedral. So if a compound, this is not the complex mark. This is not a complex. This is not containing a transition element. It is containing only p block element and s block elements. Carbon and hydrogens are there. So this is not a complex compound. This is a regular compound. This is not a complex compound. First of all, CH4 is not a complex compound. Just it is a regular compound where the central atom carbon is undergoing sp3 hybridization. If it is the sp3 hybridization, then the geometry of the molecule is going to be tetrahedral. But according to the theory, which theory? Werner's theory. According to Werner's theory of complex compounds, if the coordination number is going to be 4, there are 2 possibilities, tetrahedral as well as square planar. So you can say now, if it is tetrahedral, what is the hybridization of the central metal?
sp3.
Very good. sp3. Okay, fine. If it is the square planar, what will be the hybridization of the central metal?
dsp2.
Very good. Yes, already you know the syllabus, everything, just it is revision. dsp2. So this hybridization phenomena is not explained by Werner's theory of complex compounds. The main drawback in the Werner's theory is Werner does not consider about the electronic configurations of central metals. He does not consider. This is a main drawback. And he does not consider the concept of hybridization. Now, again, we are having a question. If the coordination number is 4, on which basis Werner is going to say some complexes are tetrahedral and some complexes are square planar? No idea is given by Werner. So this is one of the main drawback. Some complexes are tetrahedral, some complexes are square planar, even though the coordination number is same. The reason was not explained by Werner's theory. That is one of the drawback. Yes, coming back to the previous page. Yes, once again, okay, wait a minute. Yes, on the screen you can see now. So once again here, if the coordination number is 4, wait. Yes, if the coordination number is 4, tetrahedral complexes are. Who's that idiot writing on the screen? Who's that idiot? Do you have any manner or not? Please erase that one. I am taking extra class for your sake. Who's that idiot writing on the screen? Idiot fellow. Yes, if the coordination number is 5, for the central metal, coordination number means CN or secondary valency. If you are not interested, just leave the class. Those idiots who are in the classroom, just leave the class. If you are interested, just come to the class, listen to the class properly. Yes, secondary valency or coordination number, if it is 5, there are 2 possibilities again. Square pyramidal is possible as well as trigonal bipyramidal is possible. All of you know trigonal bipyramidal from the Vesper theory. This is a trigonal bipyramidal. Example is PCl5. So in the next coming classes, we'll discuss what is trigonal bipyramidal, what is a square pyramidal. And if the coordination number is 6, there is a fixed structure, fixed geometry. What is the geometry? Octahedral. And if the coordination number is 7, the geometry of the complex is going to be pentagonal bipyramidal. So by saying all these values, what are these? What are these numbers?
Coordination numbers.
Yes. Coordination number of the central metal is responsible for the waiting for your response. Coordination number of the central metal is responsible for the shape of the complexes. Once again, the coordination number of the central metal is responsible for the shape of the complexes. Yes, once again, I am taking one more page, new page. Yes, on the screen, who's that idiot writing? Okay, yes, I am saying about cobalt previously. If cobalt is present in +3 oxidation state, yes, tell me, what is its primary valency?
+3.
Yes, what is meant by primary valency?
Ionizable.
Okay, nothing but oxidation state of the central metal. Of course, it is the ionizable valency. It is the oxidation state of the central metal. Okay. Okay. Yes. Take the cobalt. Now tell me the atomic number. Cobalt atomic number.
27.
Very good. Electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d7. Yes, but cobalt is present in which oxidation state? +3 oxidation state. Then the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. Then
3d6.
Very good. 3d6. 3d is having how many subshells? 5 subshells.
5.
Electrons are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And here 4s is there, that is vacant orbital. Next 4p subshells are there, px orbital, py orbital, pz orbital. They are vacant. Now, just now we wrote the formula CONH3 taken 6 times Cl3. According to our question, we find the x value. What is the x value found?
6.
X value is found as 6. Then we wrote the formula as CONH3 taken 6 times Cl3. Then in this complex, cobalt is present in plus 3 oxidation state, indicating that the electronic configuration of outermost shell is. The electronic configuration of outermost shell is 3s2, 3p6, 3d6. Yes, can you tell me when cobalt is taken, what is the n-1 shell? Only in the
3D.
cobalt. Only in the cobalt. What is the
3D
n-1d shell?
3d7.
Yes,
3D
yes.
shell.
So here 3D shell is acting as n-1d subshell. And here ammonia is there. All of you know, yesterday we wrote the ammonia structure. Nitrogen, single bond hydrogen, single bond hydrogen, single bond hydrogen. Nitrogen contain one lone pair. Whether it act as a ligand or not, or ligand or not.
Yes, sir. Ligand.
Yes, it acts as a ligand. Which type of ligand it is?
Neutral ligand.
Very good. Very good. Neutral ligand. And can you tell me whether it is a strong ligand or weak ligand?
Strong ligand.
Wait. Okay, fine, fine. How can you say it is a strong ligand? How can you say it is a strong ligand? Okay, I am giving two examples. I am giving two examples to you. F minus and NH3, nitrogen with a lone pair. Among these two, both are acting as ligands. Which one is a strong ligand?
F minus.
Are you sure? Okay, wait. What is meant by ligand?
Which donates electron pair to the central atom.
Correct. Which donate electron pair. If any element is electronegative, more electronegative. Once again, if any element is more electronegative, that element is ready to attract the electrons. Try to understand. If the element is more electronegative, that element is ready to attract the electrons, but not ready to lose the electrons, but not ready to donate the electrons. Now, in the ammonia and F minus fluoride ion, which is more electronegative?
F minus. Fluorine.
Very good. F minus, fluorine is more electronegative. As a result, it is ready to attract the electrons, not ready to donate the electrons. Now tell me, which one is a strong ligand?
NH3.
NH3.
Yes, correct. The element, the group, see this one, the group in which less electronegative atom contain lone pair. Once again, the group in which, or the species in which the less electronegative atom containing lone pair, that groups are acting as, tell me.
Strong ligands.
Very good. Yes, strong ligand. Now, are you having clarity about strong ligand and weak ligand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, ma. So say this one, say this example once again. Wait, I will clear this one. Yes, here you can see the complex. CONH3 taken 6 times Cl3. Ammonia molecules are acting as strong ligands or weak ligands?
Strong.
Yes, ammonia molecules are acting as strong ligands. According to the theory CFT, crystal field theory. In my coming classes also I will explain once again. According to crystal field theory, splitting of d orbitals will take place. D orbitals are classified into two types. Do you know the two types of d orbitals?
T2G and EG.
Very good. T2G and EG orbitals. What are T2G orbitals? What are T2G orbitals?
dx square y square dz square.
What are T2G orbitals? T2G orbitals are dxy, dyz, dxz are taken as T2G orbitals, and EG orbitals. They are dx square y square orbital and dz square orbital. Later I will explain, ma. In the coming continuation class, I will explain. Just wait. So here I am taking a strong ligand. Because of this strong ligand, if you say this one, wait, where you have to see, you are having the question. Yes, 3d6 electronic configuration. See this 3d6 electronic configuration. So when 3d6 electronic configuration is there, how many unpaired electrons are there here?
4.
4 unpaired electrons are there. These unpaired electrons are going to get paired. Why they are going to get paired? Here one electron, here one electron. Pairing of electrons is going to take place. Why the pairing of electrons is going to take place? Because of the presence of strong ligand. What is the strong ligand here? Ammonia. This is the theory, crystal field theory. The crystal field theory says about the rearrangement of electrons at the central metal atoms. Whereas Werner's theory failed to explain the electronic configuration of the central metal atoms. So crystal field theory succeeded to explain the electronic rearrangement. And this is a rearrangement, and it is against to which rule? To write the electronic configuration, there are three types of rules. Aufbau principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, and Hund's rule is there. This is the electronic configuration. This is the electronic configuration against to which rule?
Half of,
rule.
no.
Okay, one person is saying that. Wait. Okay, no need to worry. One person is saying that Aufbau principle. It is against Aufbau principle. One person is saying that Hund's rule. Okay, and yes, welcome to the gents students to this class. Because yesterday no gent student is responded. No boy is responded. Thank you for your response, man. Yes, somebody is saying that it is against Aufbau principle. Yes, what is Aufbau principle? Whenever two different energetic orbitals are there, two different energetic orbitals. Suppose it is 1s orbital, it is 2s orbital. Which one is the lower energetic orbital?
1s.
Yes, 1s is the lower energy. Lower energy orbitals are always completely filled first. Then only electrons enters into higher energy level. This is called as Aufbau principle. But here you are seeing that orbitals, dxy orbital, dyz orbital, dxz orbital, dx square y square orbital, dz square orbital, all these orbitals are present in the same subshell. These orbitals are called as degenerated orbitals. Whenever degenerated orbitals are there, means same energetic orbitals are there. All the orbitals first filled with one electron. That means dxy orbital must be filled with one electron, next one electron, next one electron, next one electron, next one electron. Then only pairing should take place. That is called as Hund's rule. So whenever the degenerated orbitals or same energetic orbitals are there, every orbital must be filled with one electron, then only pairing should be takes place. So here we are writing the 3d6 electronic configuration like this one. First orbital is completely paired, second orbital is completely paired, third orbital is completely paired, but fourth orbital and fifth orbital is incompletely filled. This is against to which rule?
Hund's rule.
Yes, all of you remember, please remember. CFT, in CFT, some of the transition metals, the central metal ions, they are undergoing rearrangement of electrons, rearrangement of electronic configuration, that is against to Hund's rule. That is because of the presence of strong ligands. Whenever strong ligands are there, then only rearrangement of electrons in the central metal atoms valence is going to take place. All these things was not explained by Werner's theory. That is the main drawback. And one more thing, all of you know about colors. When the elements are going to give the colors, and when the compounds are going to have magnetic natures. Magnetic natures means paramagnetic nature, ferromagnetic nature, diamagnetic nature. Different types of magnetic natures are there. If you studied about solid state, at the end of the chapter, you studied about 5 types of magnetic properties. That is diamagnetic property, paramagnetic property, ferromagnetic property, ferrimagnetic property, anti-ferromagnetic property in the solid state. But we are not going in solid state, just we are taking 3 properties. One is diamagnetic property, second one is paramagnetic property. Only two we are going to consider. Can anybody say when a complex is going to be paramagnetic?
Unpaired electrons present.
Yes, very good. Whenever unpaired electrons are present, then the complex is going to be paramagnetic. See this one, all of you see here. I'm going to highlight it. Yes, see this one. 3d6 is going to get pairing of electrons is going to take place. No unpaired electron is present because of the strong ligand. So whenever the complex is having strong ligand, mostly the complexes are going to be diamagnetic because no unpaired electrons are there. All the electrons are paired. So the magnetic nature of the complexes, paramagnetic nature or diamagnetic nature of the complexes, that was not explained by Werner's theory of complex compounds. So the main drawbacks of Werner's theory of complex compounds is Werner does not consider about the electronic configuration of the central metal atom. Werner does not consider about the hybridization of the central metal atoms. Werner does not explain the magnetic properties of the complexes and the colors of the complexes. So these are the drawbacks, some of the drawbacks in the Werner's theory of complex compounds. Yes, coming to the next topic. Yes, wait a minute, I'm going to clear this one. Yes. Yes, the next topic is on the screen, you can see on the screen. So that is all about Werner's theory. What is the use of Werner's theory? What is the use of Werner's theory? So many drawbacks are there. What is the use of Werner's theory? By knowing the Werner, tell me.
Compounds.
Tell me.
Explains the formation of coordination compounds.
Very good. One more point is there.
Shape.
Very good. Correct. Nothing but geometry. Geometry of the complex compounds was explained by considering the central metals are having two types of valencies, primary valency and secondary valency. Primary valencies are not responsible for geometry of the complex. Only the secondary valencies, nothing but coordination number of the central metal is responsible for geometry of the complexes. That is about Werner's theory. Yes, coming to the next topic. All of you please open your material. You can check in your material. Next topic is coordination entity or coordination sphere. All of you know, just by writing one example. I am taking the example, simple example, a regular example, square bracket of CO NH3 taken 6 times Cl3. In this one, what is the coordination entity? What is the coordination entity? Yes, this part is indicating the coordination entity. Whatever written within the square bracket, that is called as coordination entity. Yes, see this one. A coordination entity constitutes a central metal atom or ion bounded to a fixed number of ions or molecules. Bounded to a fixed number of ions or molecules. Say this one, cobalt is bounded to a fixed number of molecules. How many fixed? 6. Why? Because means always cobalt is going to present in +3 oxidation state, means primary valency of cobalt is going to be 3. As a result, cobalt +3, always the secondary valency is 6. So every coordination entity where the central metal, if it is in a fixed oxidation state, that is going to have fixed number of ions bounded or fixed number of molecules bounded. Then the total part of the complex, this is a part of the complex, this part is called as coordination entity. Yes, here you can see some examples. In COCl NH3 taken 5 times Cl2 complex, what is the coordination entity? This one, only this one. COCl NH3 taken 5 times is the coordination entity. That coordination entity is also called as coordination sphere. Coordination sphere. And remaining, what are the remaining? How many are there? 2 chloride ions are there. Can you say about these 2 chloride ions? Can you say something about these 2 chloride ions?
Act as only primary valency.
Super, excellent. Act as only primary valency. Can you say about this chlorine?
Both primary valency and
Primary and secondary.
Very good, correct. Yes. See this one more example. Mononuclear complexes. Mononuclear complexes. Here, why it is said to be as mononuclear complex means here ligand is there. What is the ligand? Only one type of ligand is there. Here also you can see chromium, chlorine, and H2O taken 5 times Cl2. Whether it is an example of a homonuclear complex? Whether this is an example of homonuclear complex? What is meant by homonuclear complex? How can we understand? Okay, wait. See this another one, polynuclear complex. In polynuclear complex, here the example given is CO2 NH3 taken 6 times, OH taken thrice Cl3. Here, how many metals are there? Central metals are there. 2 are there. If the central metals 2 are there, that is more than 1, that is poly. Here central metal is only 1. Here also you can see central metal is only 1. If the central metal is only 1 is there, that is a mononuclear complex. If the more than 1 central metal is there within the square bracket, within the coordination entity, that is called as polynuclear complex. Let's moving to the next page. Yes. Mononuclear complexes. There are 3 types of mononuclear complexes. All of you know. Neutral complexes, cationic complexes, as well as anionic complexes. As I'm writing one example. Yes, already here it is. Okay, I will write one more example. Wait a minute. Okay. Yes, it is also there. Okay. Yes, I'm writing the first example. CO NH3 taken 6 times Cl3. Yes, take this one and it is dissolved in water. Upon ionization, what it is going to produce?
3 Cl minus ions.
Yes, first of all, square bracket of CO NH3 taken 6 times 3 plus 3 moles of Cl minus ions. Here, the coordination entity is having which type of charge?
Positive.
Yes, very good, positive charge. Then this complex is called as
Cationic complex.
cationic complex. So very simple to understand. No need to write all these reactions. Simply you can understand by seeing this one. If any complex is given, see this complex. If any complex is given where the complex is starting with square brackets and then followed by primary valency. Primary valency is nothing but what are primary valency? Primary valencies are satisfied by only right. Primary valencies are satisfied by only anions. So if anion is present outside of the complex, at the end of the complex, if the anion is present at the outside of the complex or at the end of the complex, that complex is called as cationic complexes. Say this one also. Here, what is there? SO4. All of you know SO4 is written as sulfate, SO4 2 minus. Okay, some pen is I have to take. Okay, SO4, that is SO4 2 minus. SO4 2 minus is called as sulfate ion. Sulfate ion is a anion. Anions are acting as primary valency. So if the primary valency is present outside of the sphere, that is indicating that complex is an example of
Cationic complex.
right. Like that, reverse. If you say the next one, third one, here in this complex, here you can say before the coordination entity, this is a coordination entity. Before the coordination entity, if something is there, coordination entity, before the coordination entity, if something is there, what is something is there here?
Cation.
Yes, potassium ions are there, K plus ions are there, potassium ions are there. So if cations are there, that is metal ions are there before the coordination entity, then this complex is called as anionic complex. Otherwise, to understand easily, by taking a complex K4, FeCN taken 6 times, if it is undergoing ionization, it is going to form 4 moles of K plus ions and 1 mole of FeCN taken 6 times 4 minus ion. Then you are going to see anion on the complex or negative charge on the complex. So this complex is an example of anionic complex. Yes, finally you can understand what is neutral complex means. It is neither going to produce any free cations. Once again, if it is not going to produce any free cations or anions, that is called as neutral complexes. So these are the neutral complexes, these are the cationic complexes, and these are the anionic complexes. Now all these are the examples of mononuclear complexes. What is meant by mononuclear complex? It contains only one
Metal atom.
central metal atom or ion. Central metal atom or ion, that are the mononuclear complexes. Let's moving to the next topic. Yes, on the screen. Classification of complexes based on the ligands. 2 types of complexes are there. One is a homoleptic complex. Second one is a heteroleptic complex. Homoleptic complex contains only one type of ligands. Only one type of ligands. Homo means same type of. Homo is indicating same type of. If same type of ligands are there in the complex, that is an example of homoleptic complex. So these two are the examples of homoleptic complex. And whereas this one, second one, here actually here capital C, capital O is given. That is wrong. Capital C, small o. All of you know, one element should be central metal, that should be transition element. So here capital C, small o should be there, that is the cobalt. CO, NH3 taken 5 times, Cl. How many types of ligands are there?
2 types.
Two different types of ligands are there in the complex. Then that is an example of heteroleptic complex. Yes, the next topic. Yes, on the screen. Yes, without seeing the screen, don't see the screen first. Tell me the definition of ligand or ligand. How can you define a ligand without seeing the screen?
Donate lone pair of electrons.
To whom? To whom?
Metal.
Metal atom.
Right, to the central metal atom. Suppose here a central metal atom is there and some group is there that is going to donate. What is going to donate? A pair of electrons. A pair of electrons. 2 electrons are shown. When a pair of electrons is given by only one atom, but the 2 electrons are mutually shared between the 2 atoms. What is the bond?
Dative bond.
Very good. Dative bond. That is also called as.
Coordinate covalent band.
That's why the molecules are called as coordination compounds. So the dative bond formed is known as coordinate bond or coordinate covalent bond. So that's why the formed molecules are called as coordination compounds or complex compounds. Yes, here ligand is going to donate the lone pair. According to the theory, Lewis acid-base theory. Electron pair donors are called as
Lewis bases.
So ligands are acting as
Lewis bases.
metals. Central metals are acting as.
Lewis acid.
Very good, ma. Very good. So that is about ligands. And based on the charges, ligands are classified into 3 types again. Negative ligands, neutral ligands, positive ligands. Yes, all of you know all these things. I don't want to waste your time. Yes, just once go through the material, try to read these examples. Yes, if Cl is there, Cl minus is there. In general, not by knowing coordination chemistry. In general, in normal chemistry, in general, Cl minus, what is its name?
Chloride ion.
Very good. Chloride ion. Chloride. Here IDE is replaced with O. So here Cl minus, if it is acting as a ligand, then it is called as chloro. IDE is replaced with O. And all of you know SO4 2 minus. What is its common name? Normal name?
Sulfate.
Very good. Sulfate ion. Simply sulfate. What are the letters? Last 3 letters? ATE. Here ATE is going to be replaced with O. Then SO4 2 minus is called as sulfato. The SO4 2 minus is known as sulfato, right? And one more, CN minus. What is the normal name, common name, regular name of CN minus? Yes, tell me. Cyanide. CN minus is called as cyanide. Here IDE is replaced with O. Then CN minus is called as cyano, right? And C2O4 2 minus. C2O4 2 minus. All of you know oxalic acid. Can you tell me the formula of oxalic acid? H2C2O4. That is represented like this. C double bond O, single bond O, single bond H, single bond C, double bond O, single bond O, single bond H. This is oxalic acid. Suppose from this oxalic acid, if we are going to remove this H plus ion, how many H plus ions are removed? 2H plus ions at the bottom. As a result, what is going to happen here? Here, this bond is containing 2 electrons. Wait. Color I have to select. Okay. Here, bond is containing 2 electrons. This 2 electrons of the bond is taken by oxygen. Then oxygen gets negative charge. Here also 2 electrons of the bond is taken by oxygen. Oxygen gets negative charge. Then we can write C double bond O, single bond O minus, single bond, C double bond O, single bond O minus. So this is the formula of C2O4 2 minus, that is represented as C double bond O, single bond O minus, single bond C double bond O, single bond O, single bond O minus. Yes, one more I want to explain. C double bond O. Yes, tell me, when double bond O is there, oxygen is going to contain how many lone pairs?
2 lone pairs.
Very good. 2 lone pairs are present here. And single bond oxygen is with negative charge. Single bond oxygen with negative charge. How many lone pairs should be there?
3.
Very good. 1, 2, 3 lone pairs are there with negative charge. Single bond carbon, double bond oxygen, single bond oxygen. Double bond oxygen contain 2 lone pairs. Single bond oxygen contain 3 lone pairs with negative charge. Yes, this is only one single ligand. Only one single ligand. How many lone pairs are there? How many lone pairs are there here? How many lone pairs are there here, ma?
10 lone.
Here, 1, 2, 3,
10.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oxalate ion. C2O4 2 minus is called as oxalate ion. Oxalate ion is having how many lone pairs? How many
10
lone
lone.
pairs? Yes, very
10.
good. 10 lone pairs. But it is ready to donate how many lone pairs?
2.
How can you say 2? Yes, here minus is there. That means this lone pair is going to be donated. Here also minus is there. This lone pair is going to be donated. Towards what? Towards what the lone pair is going to be donated?
Central metal and
Right. Towards the central metal atom. Yes, towards the central metal atom, lone pair is going to be donated. Suppose here central metal atom is there. This lone pair is going to be donated to form a dative bond or coordinate covalent bond. Suppose this lone pair is going to be donated. Here, one more dative bond is going to be formed. How many ligands are used here?
like
Only one ligand is used, but one ligand is going to occupy 2 coordinate sites. Only the single ligand is going to occupy 2 coordinate sites around the central metal atom to form a cyclic structure. Then what is the type of that ligand?
Bidentate.
Of course, it is called as chelating ligand or chelating ligand. What is the term you are using?
Chelate.
Chelating. Yes, chelating ligand. Of course, it is a bidentate. First of all, what is meant by bidentate ligand? What is
single
meant by bidentate ligand means if any one single ligand is there, which is going to donate 2 lone pairs of electrons. If any one single species is there, which is going to donate 2 lone pairs of electrons, that is called as a bidentate ligand. Of course, oxalate is an example of C2O4 2 minus is an example of bidentate ligand. It is also an example of chelating or chelating ligand. What is meant by chelating ligand?
Cyclic
If any
structures.
ligand which can cause to the cyclic structure of the complex. Once again, if any ligand which can cause to the cyclic structure of the complex, please write down. If you know, no need to write. If you already know, no need to write. Those who are not knowing, you can write. Side heading, chelating ligand or chelating ligand. Spelling is here. CHELATING, chelating or chelating. If you are feeling the letter size is very small, just now I said already, by using your 2 fingers, by touching on the screen, you can expand the screen. You can expand the size of the font. Please, those who are writing, please write down the side heading, chelating ligand. Chelating ligand. Statement. A ligand a ligand which is going to donate a ligand which is going to donate 2 or more lone pairs, 2 or more lone pairs towards the central metal atom, towards the central metal atom in a complex, to form a cyclic complex, to form a cyclic complex, comma, is called chelating ligand. And this effect is called as chelating effect. So now you can understand that denticity. Here I am saying oxalate. What is the formula of oxalate? What is the formula of oxalate? C2O4 2- is the formula of oxalate. That is represented like this: C double bond O, single bond O minus, single bond C double bond O, single bond O minus. This lone pair is donated towards the central metal. This lone pair is donated towards the central metal. Then it is going to give a cyclic structure of the complex. When cyclic structure of the complex is going to be formed, such complexes are going to be more stable. So the chelating effect is causing to the stability of the complexes. Which type of ligands can cause to the chelating effect? Which type of ligands can cause to the chelating effect?
Bidentate ligand.
Bidentate ligands, tridentate ligands, polydentate ligands, they can cause to the chelating effect. Yes, on the screen you are going to see all these things. Next page. First of all, tell me what is meant by denticity.
Capacity to donate.
Right, capacity to donate the lone pair. If any ligand is there, if it is going to donate only one lone pair, then the denticity is 1. If any ligand donates the 2 lone pairs, then the denticity is 2. Any ligand donating 3 lone pairs, then the denticity is 3. Right? Okay, coming to the next page. Yes, on the screen you are seeing. Yes, already just now we explained bidentate ligands. Example for bidentate ligands, you have to remember DMG. What is meant by DMG? What is meant by DMG? Dimethyl, write down this one, dimethyl glyoxime. Actually, in the examination, no need to remember this name. Simply they will give DMG. Dimethyl glyoxime is an example of bidentate ligand. Already oxalate is given. Oxalate is an example of bidentate ligand. And carbonate, CO3, carbonate. What is the formula of carbonate?
CO3 minus 2.
Very good. CO3, wait a minute. Carbonate ion. The formula is CO3 2-. How can we represent CO3 2-? In the first year chemical bonding chapter, in the resonance structures topic, you studied about resonance structure of carbonate ion, that is C double bond O, single bond O, single bond O. Single bond O means that oxygen contain 3 lone pairs of electrons with negative charge. Single bond oxygen always contain 3 lone pairs of electrons with negative charge. Double bond oxygen contains only 2 lone pairs. So this is the structure of carbonate. Suppose here metal is there, transition metal is there. 1 lone pair is donated from this side. 1 lone pair is donated from this side. That is causing to the chelating effect. So carbonate is an example of bidentate ligand. Please remember. And with compared to physical chemistry, with compared to organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry is very easy. Why I'm saying it is easy means just it is purely based on concepts. If you can understand the concept, but one thing is you have to remember a lot of memory is required for inorganic chemistry. Those who are having the best memory, those who can understand the concepts easily, please practice as many as MCQs from the inorganic chapters. So many chapters are there. In the next classes, I will teach all those things. What are the chapters where you can easily make more points, where you will get more points? Yes, coming to the next topic, tridentate ligands. Tridentate ligands, they contain 3 donor atoms. They are containing here. Wait. Bidentate ligand. Once again, coming back to the bidentate ligand. Once again, see this oxalate. One more point I missed. In oxalate, yes, how many donor atoms are there?
2.
Yes,
Two
very
donor-
good. What are the 2 donor atoms?
Oxygen atom.
Yes, this is the oxygen atom and this is the oxygen atom. So in the same ligand, if 2 donor atoms are there, in the same ligand, if 2 donor atoms are there, which are going to donate the lone pair towards the central metal, that is called as a bidentate ligand. Like that only. Next, tridentate. The 3 donor atoms are there. Example is given as a diethylene triamine. Diethylene triamine. Can you tell me the structure? Diethylene triamine. Anybody? Diethylene triamine. Okay, no need to worry. Simple, very simply you can understand. Triamine is there. Yes, what is the amine group?
NH2.
Not NH2, ma. It is not the organic chemistry. It is inorganic chemistry. Okay, fine. Yes, you have to understand the two things, amine and amine. When we use these 2 words, yes, correct. Who said that one? That is correct, ma. Correct. Amine. When we say amine, when single bond NH2 is there, we have to use the word amine. When NH3 is there, we have to use the word amine in the inorganic chemistry, particularly in the coordination chemistry. Not in all the inorganic chemistry, only in the coordination chemistry. When we are going to use NH3, the NH3 is called as amine. A-M-M-I-N-E. We have to stress amine. Okay, see this one. Triamine is given. Triamine means how many amine groups? 3 amine groups. Every amine group contains 1 lone pair. Such type of amines 3 are there. So diethylene triamine is an example of tridentate ligand. Like that you have to understand. And coming to the next one, tetradentate and polydentate. Pentadentate. Yes, coming to the pentadentate, that is most important. Pentadentate. Wait a minute. Yes, on the screen you are seeing the pentadentate ligand. First, observe that structure given. ADTA3 minus ethylene diamine tetraacetate. E stands for ethylene, D stands for diamine, TA stands for triacetate, not tetrama, sorry, triacetate. Ethylene diamine triacetate. Yes, ethylene diamine triacetate. Acetate. What is the formula of acetate? What is the formula of acetate ion?
H3COO minus.
Very good. CH3, single bond C, double bond O, single bond O minus. This is called as acetate. From this acetate, if here 1 hydrogen is removed, here I am going to remove 1 hydrogen, and this is written as CH2 single bond. See this one. See this group. So this is the acetate group, and here also you are seeing acetate group. Here also you are seeing acetate group. That hydrogen, additional hydrogen removed, that is substituted here with remaining group. So how many acetate groups are there here? 3 acetate groups are there. That is triacetate. And a diamine. What is meant by amine? What is meant by amine?
NH2.
Single bond NH2. I am writing here single bond N, single bond H, single bond H. Say this one. Wait. That's where you have to see. Yes, this one. Single bond. Suppose if it is not considered as the carbon, if it is considered as the hydrogen, then the group is going to be single bond NH2. That is amine group. But here, this hydrogen is substituted with acetate group. So then this group is indicating the amine group. 1 amine group is there. Here also 1 amine group is there. 2 amine groups totally. That is diamine. And ethylene. What is meant by ethylene or ethylene? What is the ethylene or ethylene?
C2H4.
C2H4. That is C double bond C, H2, H2. Suppose if one hydrogen is removed, then we can write CH double bond CH, single bond, single bond. Yes, here you can see this group, CH2 group is present here. Here also CH2 group is present. Here, see this one, CH2 double bond CH2. When this pi bond is removed, when a pi bond is removed, how many sigma bonds will be formed? When a one pi bond is removed, how many sigma bonds will be formed? Two sigma bonds will be formed. That means when ethylene is taken, CH2 double bond CH2 is taken, that is ethylene is taken. When a pi bond is going to be broken, I'm going to remove the pi bond here. When a pi bond is going to be broken, how many sigma bonds are going to be formed? Two sigma bonds are going to be formed. So you can see this group, single bond CH2, this is one, single bond CH2, single bond CH2, single bond. Here you can see the group, single bond CH2, single bond CH2, single bond. This group is called as ethylene group. So totally the structure is named as ethylene diamine triacetate. Yes, here nitrogen is going to contain one lone pair. How can you say here nitrogen is having one lone pair?
Nitrogen have 2 bond pairs.
Nitrogen is having only 3 bonds. Whenever nitrogen with 3 bonds are there, ammonia, all of you know ammonia. Whenever nitrogen with 3 bonds are there, always nitrogen contains one lone pair. Whenever oxygen is there with 2 bonds, oxygen contains
2
lone pairs. Whenever a halogen is there, halogen,
3 lone pairs.
yes, very good, 3 lone pairs. This is a fixed content, that is conceptual. So see this one, here nitrogen is there, nitrogen with 3 bonds are there, that means it contains one lone pair. Like that here also nitrogen contain one lone pair. So how many lone pairs are there? Here one lone pair, here one lone pair, here additional minus charge is there, here additional minus charge is there, additional minus charge is there. But total how many electron pairs are ready to donate?
5.
5 lone pairs are ready to donate. 2 lone pairs from 2 nitrogen atoms, 3
Nitrogen.
lone pairs from 3 oxygen atoms. What are going to be donated? The lone pairs from oxygen atoms are going to be donated, but not from nitrogen atoms, because it is containing excess charge, that is negative charge. So how many lone pairs are going to be donated from this species? Of course, first 3 lone pairs are going to be donated. Then 2 lone pairs are going to be donated from nitrogen. Total lone pairs donated are going to be 5 lone pairs. 5 is indicating it is the
Pentadentate ligand.
pentadentate. Remember the form, just don't remember the structure. No need to remember the structure. Just remember this formula or the symbol EDTA3 minus. Ethylene diamine triacetate. This is an example of pentadentate ligand. Yes, one more example for one more species, that is hexadentate. On the screen, hexadentate ligand. Example here you can see EDTA4 minus. Remember these two, EDTA3 minus and EDTA4 minus. EDTA3 minus, just by understanding from that one, EDTA3 minus is having denticity
5.
very good. Then EDTA4 minus can have
6.
denticity 6, because 1 minus is increased. 1 minus means what is increased?
Oxygen.
1 lone pair is increased.
Acetate.
Simply 1 lone pair is increased. Don't go in depth. Just simply consider this one. EDTA3 minus is containing 5 lone pairs. EDTA4 minus. When we get minus charge, when additional lone pair is there, when additional lone pair is gained. So simply we can understand that EDTA4 minus is going to contain 6 lone pairs. Hence it is acting as hexadentate ligand. So very simple. Just simply you can remember EDTA3 minus. Yes, here it is already. EDTA3 minus and EDTA4 minus, they are the pentadentate and hexadentate ligands. Okay. Yes, on the screen. The next topic, ambidentate ligands. Ambidentate ligands. All of you know nitro group. In the organic chemistry, functional groups, you studied about nitro group. Nitro group always act as a substitute. All of you know, nitro group is acting as only a substitute. Nitrobenzene. Before benzene, we are using the word nitro. Before the root word, if you use any word that is acting as a prefix, prefixes means that is a substitute. NO2 group is nothing but nitro group. And again from the chemical bonding chapter, in the first year chemical bonding chapter, you studied about resonance structures of nitro groups. What are the resonance structures? N, single bond N, double bond O, dative bond O. Again, single bond N, dative bond O, double bond O. These two are the resonating structures of nitro group. Of course, here double bond O is containing 2 lone pairs of electrons. Yes, all of you know, double bond oxygen always contain 2 lone pairs of electrons. What about the dative bond oxygen?
3 lone pairs of electrons.
Yes, dative bond oxygen is going to contain 3 lone pairs of electrons. This is the NO2 group. If the NO2 group is represented like this, see this one, single bond N, double bond O, dative bond O. Of course, instead of dative bond O, they are returning as single bond. Then here, nitrogen is going to donate the lone pair towards the central metal. Then here, nitrogen is acting as the linkage atom. Linkage atom. In the NO2 group, if the linkage atom is nitrogen, that is called as nitro N. In the NO2 group, again this is also NO2 group, but the linkage atom is oxygen atom, then it is called as nitrito O. It is not the CMA. In your material, if it is C, little bit correction, nitrito O. So NO2 group is called as nitrito. Nitrito N, nitrito O. When we call nitrito N, if the linkage atom of NO2 group is nitrogen, then it is called as nitrito capital N. Nitrogen is the linkage atom. If the linkage atom of nitro group is oxygen, then it is called as nitrito O. So when same ligand is there with 2 different linkage atoms, same ligand with 2 different types of linkage atoms, then such type of ligands are called as ambidentate ligands. Once you see the statement, it contains 2 donor atoms, but both the atoms cannot form the dative bond. Only one atom is forming. Either nitrogen is going to form the dative bond or the oxygen is going to form the dative bond. Like that, one more example. All of you know thiocyanide. Can you tell me the formula of thiocyanide? Anybody,
Yes.
can you tell me the formula of thiocyanide?
Cn minus.
SCN minus. SCN minus is present on sulfur. SCN minus is called as thiocyanide. What is the formula of cyanide? What is the formula of
CN.
Yes, correct. Cn, where charge is present on nitrogen, charge is present on carbon, this is called as cyanide. Can you tell me isocyanide?
NC minus.
Yes, correct. NC minus is present on nitrogen. This is called as isocyanide. So same group is there. Carbon is there. See here, carbon is there, nitrogen is there. Here also carbon is there, nitrogen is there. But here carbon is the linkage atom. Here the nitrogen is the linkage atom. When the same species is there with 2 different linkage atoms, only one atom is going to form the coordinate bond towards the central metal atom. Then such type of ligands are called as ambidentate ligands. Yes, just a minute. Yes, already in the last 10 or 15 minutes back, I explained chelating ligand and the chelating effect. Yes, in your material, you can find all this data. Once go through this one. Already I explained this one. Yes, about importance of chelates. Just now I said, first of all, chelates are very strong complexes, and the use of chelates are softening of hard water. Yes, in the first year, hydrogen and its compounds. To make the hard water into soft water, what is the complex used? From the first year chapter, hydrogen and its compounds, what is the complex used to convert hard water into soft water? To convert hard water to soft water, what is the complex used? What is the chemical used? Hard water to soft water. Hard water to soft water. Very simple, Calgon. Calgon. What is the formula of Calgon? Na2 square bracket of Na4 PO3 taken 6 times. Once again, Na2 square bracket of Na4 PO3 taken 6 times. This is called as Calgon. Sodium hexametaphosphate. In the first year syllabus, you can go through. The name of the complex is simply it is called as Calgon. Of course, here there is no transition element. There is no transition element. What are the elements present here? Only sodium atom. Here also sodium is there. So some of the complexes are there, even though there is no transition element. So these are the exclusions, some of the exclusions for complex compounds. Okay, I'm not going in detail here. So simply we can say that the chelating nature that is causing to conversion of hard water to soft water. And secondly, separation of lanthanides and actinides. In the first PUC, sorry, not first PUC, in the first year you studied about lanthanide contraction. What is the main consequence of lanthanide contraction? What is the main consequence of lanthanide contraction?
F orbitals.
Wait. All the lanthanide elements. How many lanthanide elements are there?
14.
14.
Yes, 14 lanthanide elements are there. All the 14 lanthanide elements are having similar atomic sizes. All the 14 lanthanide elements are going to exhibit same oxidation state. All the 14 lanthanide elements are going to exhibit same chemical properties. When all are having same chemical properties, same oxidation state, same size, it is very, very, very difficult to separate all the 14 elements. But by using the chelating effect, we can separate lanthanide elements as well as we can separate actinide elements. That is the main use of or importance of chelating effects. And estimation of nickel 2 plus, magnesium 2 plus, Cu2 plus in the qualitative analysis. What is meant by qualitative analysis? Actually, wait. See this statement. Estimation of Ni2 plus, Mg2 plus, Cu2 plus in the qualitative analysis. It is not the qualitative analysis. Estimation is called as quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis. All of you know different types. When we are having any poison effect, suppose any poison is drunken by us. To identify how much poison is drunken by us, what are the elements present in that poison? That process is called as quantitative estimation. So in the quantitative estimation of nickel, Ni2 plus, Mg2 plus, Cu2 plus, the importance is there of chelating effect. So this is all about today's class. MCQs are there. I'm waiting for instruction from Dayakar sir. If sir gives the permission, I will explain at least 10 MCQs. First of all, I am going to open the mic. Wait a minute.
ఇప్పుడు టైం అయిపోయింది కదా రేపు
Okay sir, okay fine. Okay sir.
Okay.
Okay ma, students please respond. Is there any doubts regarding this class?
No, sir.
Okay, wait. Just give me 5 minutes. Yes, for you, the assignment is you have to go through the material. Page number. Please try to solve yourself. If you are having any doubts or any difficulties in solving, in tomorrow's class, we will discuss only the MCQs regarding previous class and today's class. And in your material, the page number. Wait. 1 minute. Okay. That's page number 151. Page number 151. Topic is Werner's theory. Theoretical questions. Heading is theoretical questions. The topic is Werner's theory. 9 bits are there. Only 9 MCQs are there. Next topic is definition of coordination compounds. Definition of coordination compounds. Question number 10 to question number 20. Try to solve yourself. Tomorrow we'll discuss. And one more. Page number 154. Page number 154. Exercise 1. Classwork exercise 1. Page number 154. Exercise 1. Classwork. Again the same 2 topics. Werner's theory and the definition of coordination compounds. So if anybody understood this class by yourself, you can solve all these MCQs. No need of any explanation from my side. I think so. I hope so. Yes, please respond. All the students, please respond. Can you do the exercise?
Yes, sir.
If you are ready to do the exercise by yourself after
Open your
completion of
videos. Open your videos.
Sir, 1 minute, sir. I will speak. ఈ ఎక్సర్సైజెస్ ఏదైతే నేను అసైన్మెంట్ ఇచ్చానో ఇది కంప్లీట్ చేసిన తర్వాత మరి దయాకర్ సార్ లేకపోతే అక్కడ మీ కోఆర్డినేటర్స్ ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళకా, లేకపోతే దయాకర్ సార్ నా మొబైల్ నంబర్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తే నాకా, ఎవరికైనా సరే కంపల్సరీగా అసైన్మెంట్ సెండ్ చేయాలి. ఏ విధంగా? నోట్స్ లో రాయండి, క్వశ్చన్ అండ్ ఆన్సర్స్ నోట్స్ లో రాసి ఫోటో తీసి పీడిఎఫ్ గా కన్వర్ట్ చేసి ఈ వేళల్లో ఎవరికైనా సరే సార్ అసైన్ చేస్తారు, ఎవరికి పంపించాలనేది సార్ అసైన్ చేస్తారు, వాళ్ళకి కంపల్సరీగా పీడిఎఫ్ సెండ్ చేయాలమ్మా. అందరూ వీడియో అంటే ఓపెన్ చేయండి ఒకసారి. ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ ప్లీజ్ ఓపెన్ యువర్ వీడియో. All of you please open your video. Once we have to see how many of you joined.
Small instructions to you. చూడండి, ఈ రోజు నుంచి రేపటి రెగ్యులర్ గా రోజు క్లాసుల్లో వీడియో ఆన్ చేస్తే పాఠాలు వినాలి. ఎందుకంటే ఎవరు నిద్రపోతున్నారు, ఎవరు జూమ్ ఆన్ చేసి పక్కన నిద్రపోతున్నారు, మాకు ఎలాంటి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ లేదు, మా అబ్జర్వేషన్ లేకుండా పోయింది. కొంతమంది వీడియో ఆఫ్, ఆడియో ఆఫ్ అన్ని వాళ్ళు ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టు ఏదో ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తున్నారు జూమ్ క్లాసెస్ ని. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ వేస్ట్ ఆఫ్ టైం. సో మాకు తెలిసిన న్యాయం ఏంటంటే, మిమ్మల్ని కూడా మేము ఏదో మళ్ళీ మేము క్లాసులు చెప్తుంటే వేరే వాళ్ళు మీరు వింటున్నారా లేదా మానిటరింగ్ చేసుకుంటాం కాబట్టి ఖచ్చితంగా మీరు వీడియో ఆన్ చేసి మాత్రమే పాఠం వినండి. బట్ మ్యూట్ లో పెట్టండి, ఆడియో మ్యూట్ లో పెట్టండి, వీడియో ఆన్ చేయండి, క్లాస్ లో ఉండండి. సో చక్కగా మార్నింగ్ దగ్గర నుంచి ఈవినింగ్ దాకా జరిగినటువంటి క్లాసెస్ అన్ని ఇప్పటి నుంచి మీరు రివిజన్ చేసుకోండి. చక్కగా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నట్లయితే పర్టికులర్ గా ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ ఫిజిక్స్ అనుకోండి, నాకే చేయండి. ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ ట్రాక్ 1, 2, 2 నేనే చెప్తున్నాను కాబట్టి దానికి సంబంధించిన ఏ డౌట్లు అయినా సరే నేను ఆల్రెడీ నంబర్ పంపించాను, నాది 7993645999 నంబర్. సో ఆ నంబర్ కి ఇంత ముందు కూడా క్వశ్చన్ పంపించారు, నేను సొల్యూషన్స్ రాసి పంపించాను. మళ్ళీ ఎందుకు అడగాలంటే భయం, ఏదో కొంతమంది చెప్తున్నారు అది భయం అంటే అది ఇది అని చెప్పి. మీకు భయమే, మిమ్మల్ని చూస్తే నాకు భయం కాదు. ఓకేనా? దిస్ కెమిస్ట్రీ
నేను రెస్పాండ్ అవుతాను సార్. అట్లాగే సార్ ఇప్పుడు చెప్పారు, మీరు వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారా లేదా తెలియాలి అంటే ఖచ్చితంగా మీరు అసైన్మెంట్ నోట్స్ లో రాయాలి. వర్క్ ఏదైతే ఇచ్చామో డేట్ మెన్షన్ చేసి నోట్స్ లో ప్రాపర్ గా క్వశ్చన్ అండ్ ఆన్సర్స్ రాసి పీడిఎఫ్ ని కరెస్పాండింగ్ పర్సన్స్ కి సెండ్ చేయాలి. ఇది కంపల్సరీ మస్ట్ అండ్ షుడ్.
ఓకే, దాని కంటిన్యూషన్ ఏంటంటే, ఇప్పుడు సార్ చెప్పినట్టు ఏవైతే రాశారో ఆ పీడిఎఫ్ లేదా ఫోటోస్ తీసి పిక్స్ తీసి, సో బాయ్స్ అయితేనేమో శేషారావు సార్ కి, గర్ల్స్ అయితేనేమో నీలిమా మేడం పర్సనల్ నంబర్, అది వాట్సాప్ నంబర్, దానికి గ్రూప్ లో పెట్టద్దు. గ్రూప్ లో పెడితే మేము అన్ని మళ్ళీ వెరిఫై చేసుకోవడం కష్టం కాబట్టి పర్సనల్ గా మీరు వాళ్ళు ఆ పర్సన్స్ కి మీరు ఫార్వర్డ్ చేసి వాళ్ళు మీరు వర్క్ చేస్తారో లేదో వెరిఫై చేసుకుంటారు. అట్ ది సేమ్ టైం నిన్న ఎగ్జామ్ రాసినప్పుడు కూడా, సండే ఎగ్జామ్ రాసినప్పుడు 12 o'clock ఎగ్జామ్ అయిపోతే 2 o'clock 3 o'clock క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ పెట్టాల. సో ఎగ్జామ్ అయిపోయినప్పుడు విత్ ఇన్ 15 minutes లో మీరు పేపర్ బ్యాకప్ పెడితేనే కరెక్షన్స్ అవుతాయి, లేదా లేట్ గా పెట్టిన వాళ్ళందరికీ 0 marks. ఇది గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. ఓకేనా? సిసి ఏమన్నా చెప్తా
సార్? స్టూడెంట్స్ రెస్పాండ్ అవ్వండి సార్. ఎనీవన్ ప్లీజ్ రెస్పాండ్. నా క్లాస్ అర్థమవుతుందా? స్పీడ్ గా ఏమన్నా ఉందా?
నో సార్.
ఈ స్పీడ్ సరిపోతుందా? స్లో చేయొచ్చా? ఇంకొంచెం స్పీడ్ చెప్పొచ్చా? సరిపోతుందా?
చెప్పండి సార్. సరిపోతుంది సార్.
ఓకే,
నందిని రెస్పాండ్.
అర్థమవుతుంది.
దాంతో మాట్లాడు సార్ చూస్తూ.
సో మీ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్స్ అన్ని చూపించారు కదా, ఒకసారి నా బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ కూడా చూపిస్తాను మీకు. చూడండి, మనం అందరం ఒకరి కోసం ఒకరు ఎంత కష్టపడుతున్నామో ఇప్పుడు నా బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ కూడా ఒకసారి చూద్దరు మీరు. నేను ఎక్కడ ఉన్నాను? వెయిట్ ఎ మినిట్. ఎస్, సో నేను, ఇది నా రూమ్, బెడ్రూమ్. ఇక్కడ వైఫై ఉంది, ఇక్కడ కూర్చొని మీ క్లాస్ చెప్తున్నా. ఇది తెలియకూడదని బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ మార్చారు. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు అందరు కూడా మీ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్స్ ఓపెన్ చేశారు కాబట్టి నేను నా బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఓపెన్ చేశాను. ఎందుకంటే ఒకటి, లెక్చరర్ కి ఎప్పుడు భయపడొద్దు, రెస్పెక్ట్ ఇవ్వండి. లెక్చరర్ అంటే భయం కాదు ఉండాల్సింది, రెస్పెక్ట్, గౌరవం. భయపడితే ఏం చేయలేదు. మీకు ఏదైనా ఒక డౌట్ వస్తుంది, మీరు భయపడ్డారనుకోండి అడగలేరు. అడగకపోతే ఆ డౌట్ అలాగే ఉంటుంది. ఆ డౌట్ రిమైనింగ్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అన్నిటికీ అర్థం కాకుండా అలా కంటిన్యూ అయిపోతూ ఉంటుంది. ఒక డౌట్ వచ్చింది అంటే వెంటనే క్లియర్ చేసుకోవాలి. భయం అనే మాట పెట్టుకోవద్దు. ఈ రోజుల్లో ఇంకా ఎవరు భయపడుతున్నారు?
అలా ఏం లేదు, బిల్లగాడి
సరే.
భయమా? అయ్యో సారీ, అలాంటిది ఏం లేదు.
అట్లాంటప్పుడు
మనం భయపడాలి.
ఫ్రీగా డౌట్స్ అడగండి. ఏ లెక్చర్ అయినా సరే ఫ్రీగా డౌట్స్ అడగండి. ఎప్పటికప్పుడు
అంటే
డౌట్స్ క్లియర్ చేసుకోండి.
ఇక్కడ విషయం ఏంటంటే, ఇప్పుడు
సరే.
జరిగేది ఏంటంటే,
సరే.
లైవ్ క్లాసులు అంటే మన రెగ్యులర్ క్లాస్ రూమ్ లో అయితే వాళ్ళు అలర్ట్ గా ఉంటారు, మనం వాళ్ళ కళ్ళల్లో చూసి పాఠం చెప్తాం.
అవును సార్.
ఇక్కడ మనకి కళ్ళల్లో చూసి పాఠం చెప్పడానికి ఛాన్స్ లేదు ఇక్కడ. సో అప్పుడు కళ్ళల్లో చూసి పాఠం చెప్తాం కాబట్టి నిద్రపోకుండా ఉంటారు వాళ్ళు.
అవును సార్. అవును.
ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళ ఇష్టం.
మంచి నిద్రపోయే టైం.
మంచి నిద్రపోయే టైంలో దిక్కుమాల కెమిస్ట్రీ ఏంట్రా, దిక్కుమాల ఫిజిక్స్ ఏంట్రా, అదే బాటనీ జువాలజీ అయితే చదువుకోవచ్చు అని చెప్పేసి ఒక దీంట్లో ఉంటారు.
ఓకే.
సో బట్ అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ మనకి ఏంటంటే బాటనీ సిలబస్ ఏముంది, ఒక 1 month రోజులు కంప్లీట్ చేయొచ్చు. బట్ మనం ఇక్కడ ఫిజిక్స్ కెమిస్ట్రీ ఏంటంటే ఫండమెంటల్స్ దగ్గర నుంచి జాగ్రత్తగా స్లోగా చెప్పుకుంటూ వస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి ఎక్కువ సిలబస్ మిగిలిపోయింది. ఫాస్ట్ గా మనకు తెలుసు కదా, ఇప్పుడు మనం నారాయణలో ఉన్నప్పుడు మనం వారంలో ఎక్కువ సిలబస్ కంప్లీట్ చేసేవాళ్ళం, 2 days లో కంప్లీట్ చేసేవాళ్ళం, డిఫరెంట్ థింగ్. కానీ ఇది మన సొంత పిల్లలు కాబట్టి ఫండమెంటల్స్ దగ్గర నుంచి చెప్తున్నాం. సో బయట నుంచి చూసే వాళ్ళకి సిలబస్ అవ్వలేదని అనిపిస్తుంది కానీ, సో మనం హౌ ఫార్ స్ట్రాంగ్ అనేది తర్వాత తెలుస్తుంది.
అవును సార్. అది వాళ్ళ ఎగ్జామ్ కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఖచ్చితంగా మీకు ఆ డిఫరెన్స్ తెలుస్తుంది.
ఎస్పెషల్లీ వైల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ సాల్వింగ్ చేసేటప్పుడు మనం క్లాస్ రూమ్ లో ఎక్కువ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ చేయకపోయినా ఈ బేసిక్స్ ఎక్కువ ఉండటం వల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ చేసేప్పుడు ఈజీగా అర్థం అవుతుంది, ముందు చేయడం రాకపోయినా.
అవును సార్.
అసలు ఇవన్నీ తెలియకపోతే వాళ్ళకి ఏం తెలియదు. బట్ ఇవన్నీ వాళ్ళు జూనియర్ ఇంటర్ లో నేర్చుకోవాలి, మనం బట్ లాంగ్ టర్మ్ లో నేర్పిస్తున్నాం వాళ్ళు.
ఓకే.
సో ఆ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ కొద్దిగా ఎక్కువ టైం పడుతుంది వైల్ ఫిజిక్స్ కానీ కెమిస్ట్రీ కానీ. ఎస్పెషల్లీ నా ట్రాక్ ఫిజిక్స్ స్లోగా నడుస్తుంది, వేరే ట్రాక్ పరిగెడతాను. ఎందుకంటే నేను బేసిక్స్ దగ్గర నుంచి అప్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్తాను. అలానే కెమిస్ట్రీ సార్ సేమ్, ఆయన నాకన్నా స్లో. స్లో మీన్స్ ఎక్కువ ఫండమెంటల్స్
సబ్జెక్ట్ డెప్త్ వెళ్ళే కొద్దీ ఇంకా మన అక్కడి నుంచి ఇంకా ఉంటుంది. ఒక చిన్న టాపిక్ చెప్పాలన్నా కూడా చాలా డెప్త్ తెలిస్తే మాత్రం గంటలైనా చెప్తారు, ఎప్పుడు డెప్త్ తెలిస్తే. కాబట్టి సబ్జెక్ట్ ని అర్థం చేసుకోండి. ఎంసీక్యూస్ ని మాక్సిమం మీరు సాల్వ్ చేయడానికి ట్రై చేయండి. అప్పుడే మీరు సబ్జెక్ట్ నేర్చుకుంటారు. లెక్చర్స్ చెబితే మీరు ఆన్సర్స్ రాసుకుంటే ఏమీ రాదు. ఇది క్లియర్. ఎవరైతే కంటెంట్ అర్థం చేసుకుంటారో వాళ్ళే రిజల్ట్ తెచ్చుకోగలుగుతారు. సో ఐ హోప్ మీరందరూ బెస్ట్ రిజల్ట్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేయబోతున్నారు.
ఓకే శశి,
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. సైన్ ఆఫ్ చేస్తున్నాను.
నువ్వు లైన్ లోనే ఉండు, మన ఇద్దరు కూర్చొని మాట్లాడుకోవాలి. వీళ్ళందరూ లీవ్ అవ్వమండి.
ఓకే సార్.
నా లీవ్ అవ్వమ్మా, మిగతా మీరందరూ.
Remaining people, please leave. Still somebody is there. Sir, some Vaishnavi.
Sir. Vaishnavi, Vijayalakshmi, Bhaveshwari, Tapasvi. Vijayalakshmi నిద్రపోతున్నా? విజయలక్ష్మి వీడియో ఆన్ చేయాల? విజయలక్ష్మి
ఆన్ చేసింది సార్.
చేసిందా? లీవ్ అవుతల్లి, లీవ్ అవునా? అయిపోయింది క్లాస్.
All the students, you can sign out. The class is over. You can sign out. All the students, please sign out.
విజయలక్ష్మి క్లాస్ అయిపోయిందమ్మా. ధనశ్రీ
Sir,
వీడియో ఆన్ చేయలేదా?
number of participants you said this.
She is sleeping.